Welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So today in this particular video, I am going to discuss one very interesting interview question related to data engineering with cloud computing, especially focusing on AWS. Okay, so let's try to understand first the use case or the scenario, and then we will discuss the solution along with the required theory. Okay, so what is the problem statement? That is, Kamlesh is a new hire at your company. Let the data explain. That is LTDE. Suppose this is a hypothetical company and Kamlesh is the new hire at that company. Okay, and your manager has requested you to provision S3 access to Kamlesh. Okay, so that he can begin migration of data from on-premise to cloud. Okay, so Kamlesh need S3 access. Okay. However, before you can give Kamlesh full access to S3 to store the data, we want to ensure that Kamlesh won't have access to the confidential S3 bucket. Okay, so we can give Kamlesh full access to S3. Okay, because he need that level of permission for doing all this development related to cloud migration from on-premise to cloud, right? But we at the same time we have to make sure that he is not able to access the confidential S3 bucket, okay, where some important information are stored. Okay, maybe once his provision period is over, then after 6 months or something like that, you can allow that. Okay, like that some kind of stuff might be security related stuff are there. Okay, now you as a admin have to create the setup like that way. Okay, how will you do that? So first let me create one user with name Kamlesh, and then I will proceed with the further explanation. Okay, so here I will go to AWS Management Console and I will go to IAM and I will be creating a user group. Okay, because I might need to give this kind of access to multiple new hire users, right? So I will create a user group to whom I will be giving S3 full access. Okay, and then I will create user with that user group. Okay, so first I will go to user group. And here I will create a group. Okay, user group name I can give new hire S3 full access. Okay, I will just save this one in my notepad. Okay, right, and then here what I will do, I want to give basically S3 full access. Currently I am not adding any user, later I will add. So permission section I will be searching for S3, and then here I will be providing basically S3 full access. Okay, so here I will be giving S3 full access, and then here I will create the group. Okay, so here the group is defined. Now what we will do, we will go to users. Okay, and then here I will add user, right, and then here I will be giving the username as Kamlesh. Okay, I want to give programmatic access as well as AWS Management Console access. So custom password I can give. I don't want to reset the password because this is just a POC. So maybe password I can save it here. That is like hello world 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, some password I am setting up. Okay, and then here I will be giving the password. Okay, right, and then here I will go to next permission. So here add user to a group. So we already created this group. So whatever access this group has, now whoever will be group member, they will be also having the same. So basically this particular user Kamlesh will be having S3 full access. Okay, now I'll go to next tags. I don't want to specify any tags. Now I'll go to review, and then here I will create the user. Okay, once I create the user, here I will be getting the sign in console, so I can share this particular one with Kamlesh if required. Okay, so maybe let's consider Kamlesh is using Microsoft Edge, and then here I'll be pasting that URL. Okay, so I will log in here in Microsoft Edge as Kamlesh. Okay, and then here what I will do, here access key secret key is also there. Currently I am not going to use that. I am going to simply enter in AWS Management Console. Okay, so I will be giving the username as Kamlesh. Okay, and then here I will be giving the password as this particular one. Okay, whatever we have defined, right? So once we do that, we can click on sign in. So here we will able to log in as Kamlesh in this particular Microsoft Edge. Okay. So here we have logged in, right? Now what we will do in our root account, what we will try to do, we will try to create some S3 bucket. Okay, and we will see whether Kamlesh is able to get that or not. So I will go to S3. Okay, and then here I will go to create bucket, and then here I can give confidential info not for new hire something. Okay, and let it be not Virginia, no problem. Okay, here block all public access is fine, and then what I will do, I will create the bucket. Okay, right, here our bucket is created. Okay, and then here what we'll do, we will try to upload some files in it. Just dummy data I am uploading for the testing purpose, just to generate the scenario what is the requirement. Okay, maybe sample 1, sample 2, sample 2, like these some files let me upload. Okay, so it is uploaded, right? So here you can see all the files are there. Now if I go to Kamlesh account, I will go to S3, and then here what I will do, I will check whether I am able to work with that one or not. So here see confidential info new hire. So if Kamlesh click on that, here he or she can directly get all the files. So maybe I can download sample4.json. Okay, if I click on download, here it will be downloaded. Okay, see sample4.json, and if I click on open, here I am able to see the information. Okay, now the problem statement is that user group has access to S3 full access. So by default, because Kamlesh is the member of that group, he is also getting S3 full access. He can do all activity, delete. Okay, not only that, creating S3 bucket, list object, or upload something, whatever. Okay, or just to view that document, everything he or she can do. Now the only thing is, we have to give S3 full access to Kamlesh, but we have to make sure Kamlesh is not having the access to this particular confidential bucket. Okay, that's what the problem statement asks. Okay, so this particular one, right? Now how to do that? So for that, we are having a concept called S3 bucket policy. What we have to use? Okay, so using IAM, you can think that you can control the whole AWS environment, to whom you can give some access, or to which AWS service you can give some access to call some other AWS service, or in set up integration between different AWS services. But suppose in S3 bucket level you want to modify some permission, then you can use S3 bucket policy. Okay, so with respect to theory, you can understand like this way. IAM policies define what a principal can do in your AWS environment. Okay, what is principal? A principal is a person or an application that can make a request for an action or operation on AWS resource. Okay, just simple words. You just think like this way. Suppose you are creating a lambda, and you want that particular lambda will have maybe AWS comprehend access. Then your lambda is the principal, because that particular application or AWS service is going to make a request for an action to AWS comprehend, right? So just let me show you that also. So currently I am in my root account. I will go to AWS IAM, and let me just show you what is the meaning of principal. So if I go to IAM, here suppose maybe I am creating a role for lambda, or maybe for any user also you can create. So if I am choosing lambda, so for lambda I want to create a role, I want to give certain permission to lambda so that lambda can invoke those. Okay, so here lambda is basically the principal. Okay, so if I search for comprehend, if I just click comprehend full access, and if I go to next, here you see that this is the policy how it is generated, right? See, principal is lambda dot AmazonAWS.com. So lambda is basically acting like principal. So that's what is written here. A principal is a person or application that can make a request for an action or operation on AWS resource. Okay, and now this one we can control using IAM policy, which basically define what a principal can do with your AWS environment. But suppose you want to play with bucket level policy, that is inside a particular bucket, this much policy someone will be having. If suppose you want to block someone or those kind of activity, then you can opt for S3 bucket policy. Okay, S3 bucket policies are attached to only S3 buckets, not with any other AWS services. Okay, inside S3 bucket, suppose you want to give some amount of permission to one particular user or application and some not, then that kind of stuff you can control with S3 bucket policy. So just think this scenario. Okay, you have already created a group, under which group you can add users, right? Now you can add thousands of users under that particular group as much as you require. Okay, now all those will be having access, full access to the S3 service, right? Now suppose you want to basically restrict the permission for a particular bucket, then you can play with bucket level policy. Okay, so that is the thing. So how you can control that bucket level policy? You just click on the bucket and then here you can go to permission. Here you can see that here bucket policy is there, right? Currently no policy is there, but you can add bucket policy that will define how someone can access the bucket. Okay, you can make certain restriction using rules. Okay, right? So I hope IAM policy and S3 bucket policy is clear to you. Both are defined with JSON only, so it might appear a little confusing, but with our example it will be clear. Okay, so what we did with respect to our steps: first we created a user group, then we created a user. Okay, we added this particular user under this particular user group. Now what we will do? We have seen that this particular user have complete access to this bucket. Okay, now we want to give complete access to S3 service. That's what we have given using IAM, but we want to restrict the access to this particular bucket alone. Okay, that's how we can do. Let me discuss. Okay, so as I have told you, now we want to play with only one single bucket, so we can play with bucket policy. Okay, so I will cancel this particular one. I was just showing for demo purpose, and then here I will go back to our AWS management console, and this is our bucket basically, right? Currently I am in my root account. Now if you go to permission, you can set it up. Okay, so here bucket policy, you can edit this one. Okay, so as a first step, what we want to do, as a first step, we will only want to revoke the access for download. Okay, I want that Kamlesh should not able to see the content. Okay, right? So that how to do, I am discussing first. Okay, so here when you go to bucket policy, here you are getting policy generator, right? So you can click on policy generator and it will be generating the JSON for you however you want. Okay, so what type of policy I want? I want S3 bucket policy. I am choosing that. Now what is the principal? Principal means who is going to access that particular S3 bucket, right? So that is basically principal. I have just now explained. So for our case, Kamlesh is the principal because for him or her, I want to create this particular principal, right? So what I will do, I will go to IAM and I will go to user. I will go to Kamlesh and I will take the ARN, okay, which is basically our principal. Okay, principal I have pasted. Now I want to deny the access, so I am clicking on deny. Okay, what action I want? I want that Kamlesh should not able to download the data. Okay, so here what I will do, get object. Okay, that I want to deny. Okay, so that here he cannot get the object. Okay, and on which I want to apply this particular role or policy, whatever you say. So that is basically our this S3, right? So what is our S3 URL? So S3 URL, if I go here, S3 ARN, sorry. So this is the ARN, right? So here I will paste the ARN. And then here you can see this is the add statement option is there, right? So as soon as we add the statement, it will come here and you can click on generate policy. This policy will be generated. Let's copy this particular one. Let's go back to our root. I will go to permission and then here I will edit the bucket policy. Okay, I will delete all this. I will paste that and then here I will save the changes. Okay, now when you are going to save the changes, here it is throwing action does not apply to any resourcing statement. Okay, we have not done any mistake. We have simply used whatever was generated by policy generator. Now what is the problem? Try to understand. Very interesting. Okay, actually the policy is not wrong, but what we want to do here, we want to deny the access for S3 get object, right? So that he cannot download the object. Now that is not on the bucket. That is inside the bucket, whatever content is there, might be folder structure, files, whatever, on that we want to apply that, right? So we have to give /start. So inside all the content we want to apply that. So resource should be in this case with /start. Okay. Now here we can save the changes, right? So once we save the changes, let's go back to our Kamlesh account and let's see whether we are able to download or not. So what I will do, I will go to sample3.json, okay, and then here we will try to download it, okay. See here what it is saying, access denied, okay. So I hope you are getting the power of S3 bucket policy. This is a very popular interview question also, right? The question can be framed like this. Suppose you have multiple users who are having same S3 access, okay. Suppose S3 full access, so all have S3 full access, but to a particular user you want to restrict one particular bucket, okay. That time what you will do? That time I will be using S3 bucket policy and I will just deny the access for that particular user, the S3 bucket policy, not in IAM. It is not done in IAM. It is done in S3 bucket policy, right? Now what we have done, we have removed the get object from Kamlesh, right? But still Kamlesh can do all the activity with our S3 service. Like he can create the bucket, okay? Demo Kamlesh, okay? He can create that, no problem. I just create the bucket from Kamlesh account and here bucket will be created. Okay, demo Kamlesh is created. If want, he or she can upload the content also. Everything is available. Only in that particular bucket we have restricted the access, not in S3 level, because he need that access to do the migration activity, right? So we cannot restrict that in IAM level. Even in this particular bucket, if you go here, we have only revoked the access for get object. Okay, he cannot see this confidential data, but he can upload. Okay, in the same bucket. Maybe day 4 session, I can try to upload and show you. So see, it is uploaded. Okay, but now if we try to view the content, then the problem will appear. See, so I hope you can understand how, in what level you can fine tune the access, and this is very important. Okay, but now the thing is, I want to remove all access from this particular bucket. Okay, not only get object, even he should not see any this kind of content or something. If he go to properties, he is able to see all this information, right? If you go to permission, then here he can see that, okay, the root user have basically blocked my access. Okay, this is not good, right? So what we want, suppose this is so confidential that I want to take down all the access from Kamlesh for this particular bucket alone, but still Kamlesh will have full S3 access so that he can completely or perfectly can work with the migration activity. Okay, so now I will show you how to revoke the complete access. Okay, so these kind of stuff so you can see, right? Now no longer I want to display that for Kamlesh account. Okay, so for that what I will do, I can show you with AWS management console also, which is same what I explained with the first one. But now let's try to see programmatically. That will be another interesting stuff, right? And programming is very simple. Using inbuilt packages only I am going to work. If you go to the documentation, here you can see in Boto 3 how to set the bucket policy. Just we need to specify the JSON, and then we have to use json.dumps, and then we have to call this put bucket policy method. That's it, right? So what I will do, I will go to IAM, and then here I will go to our AWS management console. Okay, and then here I will first create a root account access key and secret key so that I can configure that easily. Okay, so here I will create a new access key. So this access key and secret key I am generating to put the bucket policy. Okay, right? So here I will go to this one. And then here I will be taking AWS access key and secret key. Okay, which I will be using for Boto 3 connectivity. Okay, so code I will be explaining. Let me first paste this AWS access key and secret key. Okay, right? So what I did, first step, pip install Boto 3. then import boto3 and json. Okay, then bucket policy. We have to mention the bucket policy, right? So what we want, let's go back to policy generator. I will close this particular one. Okay, now what I want for principal as Kamlesh, okay, I want to deny all services, sorry, all actions, okay, all action to that particular S3, which is basically our confidential bucket, okay, right? And then maybe I can add this statement. Here it is added, and I will delete the earlier one. I just want to keep simple this one. I will click on generate policy. Okay. Now this complete access I am removing. So no need to give /start, right? Because that was get object which is applicable inside the content. But this time I want to remove all the access. So this is kind of bucket level, right? From the fundamental intuition itself, I hope you are getting it. Okay. I will go back to bucket policy. I will paste that here. Okay. And I will run that, right? And then here I will call json.dumps. Okay. I will get the access key and secret key. And then here I will be creating the client for Photo3, a client for S3, and access key, secret key we are passing, and the region name. So this particular bucket, what is confidential, is present in which location, that we need to do. Okay. So it is basically in US East 1. I will be taking that and I will be pasting that in my code. Okay. What is the bucket name I want to apply the policy? That is basically this particular one. Okay. And as soon as I will run the code, the bucket policy will be updated. Okay. So if you go back to here, I will go to permission and let me first edit the bucket policy. Let me just remove everything just to avoid the confusion. So currently no bucket policy is there, right? So now again Kamlesh can access any JSON data, whatever file is there in the confidential folder. Okay, see, he can able to download and open the file. Okay, now we are revoking all the access. Okay, right? So here I will run this one, and run this one. Okay, so we got some error, that is, here it is saying that while calling put bucket policy operation, policies must be valid JSON and the first byte must be second bracket. So simply second bracket. This second bracket and resources action S3 start SID I have given, right? And then here to this particular user I want to revoke that. So let me just print the bucket policy and see bucket policy. So ID policy version. Yeah, it is looking good only. Let me go there. ID policy. Try to copy that one again. Don't think there's some mistake is there. See, it is successful. Like some other mistake happened that time. So now, if I go back to our root account, here currently it is not showing. If I refresh this particular page in our root account, it will be showing that that particular bucket policy is being used. See, deny the access to Kamlesh, complete S3, all actions is denied. Okay. Now if I go back to Kamlesh account and if I go back to bucket, see, insufficient permission to list object. Now Kamlesh cannot see what are the content available. Only he can see the bucket name. Okay, if he go inside, nothing he can see. If you want to go to properties, here bucket versioning, tags, default values, everything denied. Okay, even if we go to permission, bucket policy, where earlier he was able to see that the root account user blocked the get object, now it is not even visible to that. Okay, all the access are denied. Okay, so this is what is the power of S3 bucket policy. I hope you are getting it. So very popular interview question. That is, suppose you are having multiple user who is having same level of S3 access, but for a particular bucket, for a particular user, you want to revoke or deny some particular S3 access. How to do that? That time the answer will be, I will be using S3 bucket policy. Okay, and hope you have got it. using programming as well as using AWS Management Console, how to implement that. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share and comment. Subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed till now. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. Thank you.